Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the State of the Marauders podcast, sponsored, as always, by our good friends at D1 Media Pro, the number one live stream in the state of New Jersey for high school sports. We continue our winter previews this week as we preview the basketball season with head coach Alex Mirabel joining us on this week's edition of the State of the Marauders Hotline. And we will also talk about, and even maybe even potentially debate, the top 5 moments that occurred during the fall season. So stay tuned for that. We can always be found on any listening devices, on Apple, on Spotify, on Anchor, you name it, we are there. So be sure to search State of the Marauders or follow us on our social media profile at SOTM Marauders to see all of our exclusive Marauder content. As always, I am your host, Renato Rodriguez of the class of 2010, alongside my special guest of the week, the State of the Marauders Sports Reporters Club President, Ben Novosyolok, class of 2024. Ben, happy Thanksgiving, first of all. Welcome back to the podcast. How are we feeling today? How are we feeling?
We're feeling really good. I mean, it's been a while since some winter sports. Last year, had a really good time with it. I'm looking to do it again. Thank you for having me on.
Right, of course, Ben. And, this winter season is going to be very interesting, especially because there's a lot of interesting developments, especially with basketball, hockey, tough schedules. We'll talk about basketball schedule in just a little bit, but I'm looking for this long break in between seasons. I know usually we have football going a little bit longer than anticipated. I feel like it's been too long. I need some action, man. I need some action.
Yep. And action's coming. Everyone's warming up, and scrimmages start December 5th. So we're getting ready for that. That's in less than 2 weeks. So looking forward to it.
It's coming. So let's talk about the news of the week. So, the first bit of news, make sure you always download the app today via the link on the State of the Marauders profile. Again, Ben, tell the viewers how important this app is. How important is it?
The app is extremely important. I mean, I don't know what else you could say, but it's pretty important.
Do you have the app?
I do, of course I have the app.
What do you look forward to in the app? What do you click on?
Pretty much everything. Whenever I need it. I don't know.
You got the live streams. Got the live streams.
Yeah, we got the live streams. We got scores.
Texting service. Do you want a texting service? I know Miss Davis at the Browning Center. She loves the texting service.
Yeah.
I know other people have been loving the texting service as well. My favorite part has got to be the play of the week, though.
That is my favorite part as well.
So make sure, once winter season starts, ladies and gentlemen, download the app. So download it right now, right this instant, by clicking the link on our profile at SOT Marauders. We will also going to reveal some winter season schedules on our profile shortly. So stay tuned for that. But one thing to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to have a lot more content on our YouTube channel at SOTM Network.
Oh, yeah.
We did a couple live streams for the soccer games. We also have some highlights, interviews, the podcast like this, and much, much more. So, again, make sure to spread the word, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll hopefully get a lot more content out as we go into the winter season. Last but not least, basketball updates will be exclusively on Game Changer this year, Ben. A little different from last year. But we had a prep grad who does a tremendous job. Pete Spiewak at Game Changer does a tremendous job of just updating the app for people like me who like to do stats, live play. They do good at the baseball stuff. The baseball team uses it all the time. I think this year we use it basketball. So be on the lookout for that. That link will be on the app soon. So you can get all your basketball updates throughout the year on Game Changer. All right. Now, after we're done with the news of the week, Ben, not too much to talk about, unfortunately,
Not much.
but there was one big thing to discuss this episode. You know, the basketball team, they're going to start their campaign in a few weeks. They're going to open up at the barn, downtown Jersey City.
Yeah.
Nice little 7:15 p.m. game.
Oh,
which,
good evening game.
I know it's a little bit late, but they're opening up the season against a potential top 20 team in the state, maybe in the top 10 according to some people. I know Ben.
Yeah. I think maybe top 10 maybe. They probably can fit in. We know the top 5 pretty well, but there's the 6 through 10 up for debate, and I think they can fit in.
Right, and that team is the Elizabeth Minutemen. And I mean, we saw Elizabeth a couple years ago at Elizabeth. That was a back and forth competition between the two schools. And the fact that the barn is opening up with this game, Ben, it's going to be a raucous crowd. I mean, I can't wait for that game.
Oh yeah, last year's home opener was against North Bergen, which I mean, no one really came to that. Yeah. And I mean, this game it should draw a big crowd, bigger crowd. I don't think that many people know that Elizabeth has a strong team in these areas.
No, they have a strong team, man.
But I've been looking, and they have a really good team, especially for just the public school.
Right, and that game again, circle on your calendars, folks. December 15th, it's a Thursday, 7 p.m. at the barn, downtown Jersey City. But there will be a live stream in case you can't come out. Stay tuned for the links for that. But again, I'm very excited for this basketball team this year. But this is the first time in 4 years, Ben, that they're not going to be without the all-time leading scorer in St. Peter's Cup history, Mark Armstrong. He's now at Villanova, but expectations still remain high. You got the return of guys like Jackson Tyndall, Matt Kinsler, amongst others. So we sat down with head coach Alex Mirabel on this week's State of the Marauders, the hotline, as he gives us his thoughts and perspectives on the upcoming season. So, Coach, take it away. Welcome to the State of the Marauders hotline, sponsored by the Torna Bennett Group. They provide leadership solutions for nonprofit organizations, professional fundraising, interim executives, and strategic marketing. They also provide sales, fundraising, and executive solutions for New Jersey businesses. For more information, call 201-932-0100 today. That's 201-932-0100. The State of the Marauders hotline, and I'm here today with basketball head coach Alex Mirabel. Alex, first off, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving as we're recording this the day after Thanksgiving, but welcome back on the podcast, and how you feeling today, buddy?
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving as well. Everything is good. We had a great time with the family. So now it's kind of, settling in a little bit and, excited to get back to work on Monday.
Right. And, last season, you guys had a pretty successful season. You went 23-5 overall. Got to the Hudson County Finals, lost to Hudson Catholic, and then lost to Brigham in the state semis. But you did end up as the number 9 team overall in the state according to NJ.com. So how would you define how your team did last season?
I think last year's team was a very unique group. Arguably, we had the best player that I ever played here at St. Peter's Prep in Mark Armstrong. And I think last year was a great year for him. Obviously, the year before, COVID didn't help anybody.
Right.
But it was good to get back to normal last season and have a competitive schedule and being able to have a great group of guys, great group of parents, be part of a history in the making. And I think that was a great year for Mark and his family and the fan base here at St. Peter's Prep to witness that. But overall, as a team, obviously we fell short of the things that we wanted to do as far as winning the county and going to the TOCs. But that's what we worked for. And like I said, we had a great group of guys, and most of them are back this year. And I think they're able to learn from past failures to be able to be better teammates, better people, and hopefully we're able to have our goals set that we have this year.
Right, and you mentioned, Mark Armstrong for the first time in 4 years, right? He's no longer going to be in the program. He's out of Villanova doing his thing. But how big of an impact was Mark Armstrong to this program these last 4 years?
But I think, to be honest with you, the biggest impact he had was on me as a coach and as a person, to be able to coach type of character and type of talent on a day-to-day basis. It allowed me to challenge me as a person, me as a coach, making sure the practice plan was really good for him to be able to compete and for him to get challenged, and
Right.
Having him for 4 years, to be honest with you, and that type of talent was great to have. And the biggest thing for us was that he was able to grow since freshman year to senior year, and to see it, witness it, and now kind of step back and watch him practice at Villanova, watch him play. It feels good to have somebody that, in the state rankings from NJ Hoops was number 11th as an incoming freshman,
Wow.
and he finished number 1. So
Right.
it shows the type of work and dedication that him and his family had, and it shows the type of program that we have here at St. Peter's Prep.
I agree. And you also talked about, some key players coming back this year. You got Jackson Tyndall, Matt Kinsler. They got a lot of size and good in the front court. Those guys had a combined average 25 points per game, 12 rebounds per game last year. So besides those two guys, who are some other key players that are looking to be catalysts on your team this year?
I think, it's very important to give the respect to Jackson and Matt. Being 4-year varsity players is not an easy thing, especially in this program. It's a lot of wear and tear, mentally, physically. So it's not easy. A lot of people, fans, younger players think it's an easy thing to do, but it's not. So those two guys are captains as of now, and we're looking to have more guys as captains, but they've given a role to be captains, and having those two guys are great. They play multiple positions. They're tough. Right. They know what we want. They know what we want to do defensively and offensively. And then you have a lot of other returning guys. You have Jordan Armour. You have Bryce Anderson. You have JT Teller. You have Boom Sing Song. You have a good core of older guys that been around the program. Zoan Wright. So it's a good group of veterans to have around. You got a kid Sam, Ton and B. So there's a lot of guys that we have that was here last year and the year before. You got Ben Guy,
right.
Great glue guy, very disciplined player. And then obviously you have the younger guys that came in this year, Richie Rosa, Mason Santiago. Those two guys are very talented, and they starting to understand what varsity basketball is really about.
It's going to be interesting to see the whole dynamic of all those veterans, right, that you have from last year, and now with the new guys coming in too. It's going to be interesting to see the dynamic that as the year goes on, see the chemistry keep increasing, the work ethic getting better and better, and then seeing the team gel throughout the year as well, especially because, you guys have another tough schedule this year, right?
Yes, it's probably the toughest schedule we've had since maybe Mark's sophomore year, and it's one of the toughest schedules we've had since I probably was here. So it's going to be some growing pains, but as a program, we're looking into late February, early March. So you have to be able to prepare for that. For those key games, playoffs and state playoffs as well.
Right, and who are some of the big name opponents that this Marauder team is going to see this year?
Well, we start the year with two really good games and two really good, I would say, coaches, two really good programs in Elizabeth. We open up against Elizabeth December 15th here at home. And then the second game of the year against Don Bosco. So you're already being battle tested from the beginning. You know, it's like this is not like it's no cupcake games.
No.
And then we're on the road against Memorial, tough team always to play on the road. And then we home against Union City, which they got a lot of talent this year. And then we go away on the Christmas tournament. Play St. Andrews from Maryland, and then the winner or loser of that plays another two tough opponents from Maryland, and then right from that we come back to New Year's jump off against Immaculate Conception, which have one of the top guards in the state. So the first 6 games are really tough. So we've been working for a long time towards this, and you know, hopefully our guys are ready and focus and step up to the challenge.
Right. And you talk about everything that's happening, right? Again, a lot of new guys coming in, still got the same amount of guys. What are your expectations heading into the year overall?
I mean, obviously, for me, it's always been getting better every day. And, you know, from that you grow and you build, you know. But, you know, it's the first time in, I would like to say maybe 8 years that I'm coming in, you know, with a brand new point guard situation. You know, we had Will White here a few years ago. Then we had Ray Ford. And we had Mark. And those guys were returners. But this first year where you know, Peyton Miller, it's another name, key name for us. He's a point guard. You got Richie Rosa, you got Ben. So those guys are gonna adapt. You know, we got picked up Nico Pena. He came over as a transfer. He's another key guy, older guy, first year in the program. So those 4 guys, for the most part, be handling the ball. And it's the first time in a long time where we kind of building a relationship on and off the court with those guys to lead the group.
Right. So, again, last thoughts, Marauder Nation. You know they're ready to get the barn going for you this year. You already know that. What is your message to Marauder Nation?
Well, obviously, support. Since I've been here, I'm coming into my 9th year as a head coach, and 11 as part of the program. I did 2 years as an assistant coach, so in total is 11 years. This has been a great run for me as a head coach and as an assistant. I love the support from the school. Aurora Nation, you know, we haven't had a home game non-conference that could, you know, that was very meaningful. And December 15th, we probably will have a top 20 team here at home. The only top program I've been here at home obviously has been Hudson Catholic. Other than that, we haven't really had a top 20 team in the state come through these doors. So that would be a great way to support the guys, support me, support the school, just to come out and do what you do. I think we have one of the best home court advantages in the whole state in big games, and this is our way to open up the season with you being here by our sides and as a 6th man would be great. And I hope to see everybody here, and can't wait to see what color theme or theme you guys have for the home opener. It's always interesting, and I really appreciate the love and support. So let's get it going. December 15th at 7:15 p.m. I believe we play Elizabeth. So I hope to see everybody here, ready to roll like you always been.
Well, Alex, thank you so much again for coming on this week's episode of the podcast. We really appreciate it, and good luck to you guys this season.
Thank you. Thanks, Renato. Appreciate you.
So, thank you to Alex for joining us this week. That was a great, extensive interview with him. Ben, what do you think about Coach Alex Mirabel starts, and what do you think about the team this year?
So, like you said in the interview, there's like the first 6 games are going to be the toughest that Prep has had in quite some time. Like you start off against Elizabeth, I think they're going to be top 10. Bosco's top 5, they're top 100 team in the country. Then you go on the road to Memorial. I think Union City's either going to be on the road or home. I'm not really sure. And then you go down to Maryland for the Christmas showcase. And you're going to play some top teams from Maryland, from the DMV area. And then you're coming right back to Montclair Immaculate. And I think that my initial thoughts are the team's going to have some difficulty adjusting to this new style of play and all these games, having that half out of the county. And I think the starters are going to be on the younger side, leaning more towards freshman, sophomore. Might see more of Richie Rosa and Mason Santiago becoming starting 5 straight out the gate. I think Mirabel might do that, and I think they do warrant it. Rosa is the number 1 recruit from New Jersey coming in from 8th grade, and Mason Santiago is close behind. I don't know his ranking. And they both won, what was it? They were both on the U16 team for Puerto Rico at FIBA. I don't know my international basketball.
Yeah, at the U15 championships. They
U15 championships, and they won it. So they know what to do to win. And I think that this season is going to be a test to see if this team can rise up to competition. They're going to be playing a lot of teams that they might be out of it, and it's okay if you lose those games. It's not games that they should 100% be winning, but we would really want to see them to rise against the competition and face adversity and not back away from it. And I think that's going to be the theme of the season. And either way, I personally think this team's going to be top 15 in the state, maybe push top 10. And I think it's just going to be a great year. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting year, especially as Coach Mirabel mentioned early on. That first half of the schedule, but I'm going to look at that a little bit, but it's going to be some tough sledding for this Florida team. But you got to remember, we talk about Richie Rosa, Mason Santiago. Granted, those guys are talented, they're warranted, but we can't forget Jackson Tyndall and Matt Kinsler. Those guys were all state guys last year. I mean, you heard what I said on the interview. So they averaged 25 points per game and 12 rebounds per game. That's a lot of beef. A lot of beef to deal with. And the thing that's so good about Jackson and Matt is they're able to be in any position. They can play the 5, they can play the 1. It doesn't matter. They can play anywhere on the court, and they're going to be dynamic regardless.
Yeah, and they can do pretty much anything. You can ask them to shoot threes; they'll shoot threes. You want them to get busy in front of the paint; they'll get busy in front of the paint. If you ask them to play defense, they'll play outstanding defense. They can really do anything on the court that you ask. And yeah, I think that duo is going to be the heart and soul of this team this year. And with Mark gone, I think it's their time to really step up and do really well this year for the team.
Right, and hopefully they can stay healthy. I know the injuries with both of them have been very concerning the last couple of years, but they can stay healthy. They're going to be one of the definitely top forward duos in the state, no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben, let's take a look now. I know everyone's itching to see the schedule. We're going to take a look at this in a little bit, but I mean, you talk about right off the bat.
Yeah.
Look at that. Right off the bat. You got Elizabeth, Don Bosco. And as Coach Mirabel mentioned, at Memorial, it's always a tough place to play. Union City, their coach was coach of the year in Hudson County last year. They're going to bring back some talent. That's going to be the second home game at the barn. That's going to be another tough task as well. So you're talking about the first, I would say, 8 or 9 games in the schedule. It's going to be tough sledding for a smarter team, bet.
Yeah, I mean, we already went through the first 6 games, but then you got Lincoln. Lincoln's pretty tough. Union Catholic, I think we should get through pretty easily. Same with Dickinson. Rumson Fairhaven, I'd really like to see that game. They're a good team from down the shore. They play some really top teams, including Marlboro, who had UCLA commit Jack Seidler. and they played them really well, so I'd love to see how they play this prep team. North Bergen's always a tough team. Hudson Catholic on the road is going to be the game of the year for us, and it is going to be the game for us to win. They have multiple injuries to their top two players, Elijah Gertrude and Tahad Pettiford. So if things happen and they're still injured when we come into their place, I think it can be an upset victory. Additionally, Trenton Central is a pretty tough team. Who else is there? They got North Star. They should take care of that game pretty handily. But St. Thomas Aquinas, that team could potentially be top 5. I think they're going to finish around 6 or 7, but they could push for top 5. I think the top 5 is already pretty set for the year already. I think we all know who's going to be top 5. Yeah. Not necessarily in the order, but pretty much it's going to stay the same in my opinion. Plainfield should be fine. Newark West Side, I think, is going to be a little tough. Bayonne. Saddle River Day is always a tough one. Lyndhurst and Snyder, we should be done with pretty well. But St. Benedict's prep might prove to be difficult. And same with Pioneer Academy. What do you think, Renato?
Yeah, I mean, the first, I would say, 4 games are going to be very challenging.
Yeah.
That middle stretch you talked about, Rumson, Fairhaven, North Bergen, and Hudson Catholic, that's going to be tough sledding for this Sparta team. But then, the back end is very interesting. You got a couple independent schools, St. Benedict's, Pioneer Academy. It's also going to be very interesting as well. So, again, as Coach Mirabel mentioned, this is probably one of the toughest schedules he's put out in a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I think this would benefit the Marauders the most this year because it will get them reps before the Hudson County tournament, reps before the state playoffs as well.
Yeah, so, I wasn't there for Mark's sophomore year. I was in 8th grade, and I was a freshman when he was a junior. So I don't really remember how tough that schedule was.
Yeah, it was a tough schedule.
It was tough. All right. But anyway, this will get them reps for states, for counties, and I remember many times before states, right before states and counties last year, Coach Mirabel had to put in games halfway through the year for us to build up to those 2 big championships. And it worked. We got a bunch of wins out of it, but it was more of rushed games that weren't on the schedule that became on the schedule right before with a couple days notice. And now there's a prolonged preparation for the big dances that we're going to be attending. And I think it's going to be great.
Right. I think this schedule is going to be fantastic, Ben. And I know, it's early on. We haven't seen the team play yet, but we got to think about what do we think the overall records are going to be. We got about 24 games, Ben. All right, 24 games. What do you predict this team's going to be at?
I'm going to say either 19 and 5 or 20-4. And I'm a bit more on the optimistic side. I think, it's going to depend on that Maryland tournament. I don't know my Maryland teams.
Oh, come on. You got to know your Maryland teams, guy. Come on.
Oh, yeah, I know. Just Maryland. I have to know the team.
You got to know. You got to know, man.
It's like I know people from there. But I think they're going to lose their first 2 games, Elizabeth and Don Bosco. I think it's going to be growing pains. There are definitely going to be growing pains to start the year, especially again that 6 game start is going to be brutal. Right. And I think there's going to be some growing pains. So Elizabeth, Don Bosco is going to be a loss. St. Thomas Aquinas later in the year also going to be a loss. Same with St. Benedict's. I think that school is really underrated. They're an independent, but they're still an extremely solid team. And again, depending on the Maryland team, they might lose the Governor's Challenge and they might lose again. So I don't know what's going to happen there. So if they lose 19-5 and if they win, then it's going to be 20-4. But either way, that's what I'm going with. What about you, Renato?
Also, keep in mind, Ben, if they lose that first game in the Governor's Challenge, right?
Yeah.
Then they don't play that second game.
Oh, they don't.
No, so it could be 23 or 24 games depending on what happens there.
Oh,
Oh, let's just, for argument's sake, we'll make it 24, just for argument's sake.
yeah. Let's just make it 24 because when I was thinking of this, I saw 24 games on the list. So
Right.
we'll
go with 24. We'll go with 24.
Yeah.
So remember, Ben, last year we went 23-5.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going with 18-6.
Yeah.
Going
I mean,
18-6.
I'm pretty sure that's 23-5 with tournament play in there as well. So a couple games that
counts. That all counts.
Alright.
It all counts. And any game in the regular season counts. So again, I'm the same way as you. I think if they're able to at least split Elizabeth Don Bosco, that will serve them more moving forward. But I think they lose both of those games.
Yeah.
Again, the Hudson Catholic game, that's gonna be a toss-up, and then so I don't care who's on the court for either team.
Yeah.
Those are always gonna be exciting regardless.
Yeah.
So I think that game's a toss-up for me. The St. Thomas Aquinas game at St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I think Bandix is an underrated independent school that's really good as well. And then either the Governor's Challenge they lose, or maybe a team like North Bergen or Union City. I think they always give this Aurora team fits every year. So
they give them fits, but last year those fits didn't turn into anything. So I don't.
I mean, North Bergen gave us a run for the money last year.
I mean, they did, but did it show up on the win column? No. So.
I'm just saying, Ben. I'm just saying
also. I know.
So I'm going with 18-6 overall. I'm hoping that it's going to be over that. I'm hoping, but I think 18-6 is a really respectable record for the team.
Yeah. I think 18-6, and considering the strength of our schedule, that should get us up in a top 20, top 15, even if we go 18-6.
Right. So again, I'm very excited for that first game against Elizabeth. And that's going to be.
Yeah.
Barnes got to be packed for that game.
Oh, yeah. No, it has to be packed for that one.
So let's now switch gears a bit. Talk about the previous season, the fall season. It was a great season for many of our teams. And I think, Ben, it's only fitting that we tell the viewers where we thought were the top 5 moments of the 2022 fall season. What do you think?
Yeah. I think that would be great. So.
All right, so let's start with you, Ben. What were your top 5 fall moments?
All right, so there were a lot to choose from. There were a bunch of highlights that I could have gone with. Could have gone with some water polo. Could have gone with more track. And for number 5, I'm gonna have to go with crew.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
But they placed 27th. They placed 27th at the head of the Charles, which is the equivalent of fall nationals. All the best teams show up, and out of those 27 teams, 22 of them were clubs. So that means 5 scholastic teams. We were the top scholastic team in New Jersey and the 4th best scholastic Jesuit team. So there were 3 other Jesuit schools ahead of us and a public school ahead of us. So we're basically the 5th best scholastic crew in the nation and number 1 in New Jersey. So I definitely have to put that in top 5 because we've been working about it. The team, and I'm on the team. We've been working on it for a couple years. It's been a long time coming, and looking forward to crushing it in the spring.
Yeah, that was a great job by the crew team. I mean, number 1 in Jersey in any sport, it's just hard.
Oh yeah, and New Jersey at crew is really tough. There's always guys that go to top colleges, so it's really good that prep is where it is in terms of crew. And yeah, going into number 4, going to Cave and Point for Friday Night Lights against Del Barton, the first one, not the second one. We won the first one. We won the first one. And that would be Jaden Bonsu's hit. So roll the tape.
Defense. Well, you said Trafford's a shifty back. He gets motioned down. They'll give it right to him on the first down play, and he gets lit up. Oh, what a hit there by Jaden Bonsu. That'll wake you up.
Yeah. As Kevin Conley says, that'll wake you up. So that's easy for number 4.
I mean, Ben, that woke me up in the press box, man. I was all the way up there, and that woke me up.
Oh yeah. Number 3, track winning the Jesuit meet for the first time since the 1940s. I mean, since 1944, since before World War II ended. That's something. That's got to be something. That's great for the team, and that's great for all the coaches and all the runners who've been putting in so much hard work for that Jesuit meet. Number 2, soccer advancing to the non-public finals. Jaden Reed with the OT winner there against Paul VI. Again,
Jaden Reed. I mean, dude. I mean, let's just talk about that game as a whole, Ben. Before I roll the tape.
All right.
I mean, that game was a stalemate. That was a stalemate.
Stalemate. I saw
a couple chances, but if you guys are watching the World Cup right now, if you've seen the England-USA game, it was essentially like that.
Yeah, it was.
It was like both teams got a little bit of chances, but it wasn't anything crazy. And then the one, the only, Jaden Reed, overtime winner. Now let me drop off for the Marauders because the referee was in the way. In the box. Loose ball. They score! Jaden Reed wins the game. Jaden Reed wins it in overtime. What a way to end it. Jaden Reed, the overtime hero, and the Marauders advance. Whew. What a moment that was, Ben. What a moment.
Yeah, really. And I mean, it was great for us and put us into that finals match against CBA, and fortunately it didn't go our way against them. But still, it was a great game. It was a great game to watch, and that brings me to my number 1. And I think we're gonna have the same number 1. So I'll leave the video highlights to when you announce it. But my number 1 is going to be that comeback against St. Joe's Regional football. First time since 1989 for the state title.
Wow.
And that was something special, coming down from round 3 scores, 2 scores, and coming back, winning it by 3. Kenyon Massey revenge game, transfers from St. Joe's to us, and gets the game-winning touchdown, I believe. Yeah, touchdown. And then Champlong running it in for 2. That was something else.
And then don't forget, St. Joe's drove down the field, got into field goal range, and the kick was just
missed. Now I'm gonna have to turn it over to you. So let's go with your top 5.
All right, my top 5. Right. You know, I like to spread it out along sports teams, Ben. So for number 5, double overtime victory for water polo against Fields. And boy, that was my first water polo game that I've been to, Ben.
Wow.
And double overtime, Sebastian Ortega 7 goals, and the breaks of 5. Like what? Like, dude, that game was nuts. I mean, water polo had a great year overall, but that game literally defined their season of how good they were. I think that game got them to like a 3-game winning streak at that point, and they had a great year. They had a great year.
Wow.
So for number 4, I'm also gonna go the same thing as you. Crew number 1. See, I put the number 4, Ben. I like crew more.
I see. So, yeah.
I put the number 1. Okay. Number 3, of course, we saw the video. Soccer advancing to the non-public South A finals. Why is it not number 2, you might ask? Well, I mean, when you win the Jesuit Championship for the first time since 1944, I think that has a little bit of a higher ranking, Ben.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's my opinion. It's my opinion.
Yeah.
That's why I had them 2. And then, as Ben mentioned, the number 1 play. What's it going to be? Of course, football wins.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna watch all 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have to roll that tape.
With Dan Long, NJ.com on the call. So, Dan, let's take it away.
St. Joe's looking for a goal line stand. Long will hands it off. St. Joe's makes the initial hit, but the power used by Jalen Klein found his way to the right side in the end zone for the touchdown. 4 and counting left to go in a 7-7 first quarter. Pressure was right up the middle, but he's got it over in time. Now Fowler coming out to make the catch. He's got room. He's got blockers. He's got speed down the far side. Fowler is going to take it for a house call. Touchdown, St. Peter's Prep. And it's going to be an onside kick recovered by St. Peter's Prep. Forte is 1 for 1 with a long of 26 yards. It's going to be a fake on the field goal. The special team strikes again. St. Peter's needs to convert here to keep hope alive. They'll hand it off. Broken tackle, and hope is eternal. St. Peter's Prep gets all the way into the end zone. Touchdown. Down by 11. Long keeps it himself into the end zone. Touchdown. St. Peter's Prep. Wouldn't have had to go for a 2-point there. It could have been a field goal game. There's a high kick, and onside kicker is recovered by Fowler after the second bounce. Champ Long, the Maryland Terrapin commit. Can he orchestrate a drive to win this game in walk-off fashion with 1:44 left to go? Long, plenty of time, looks to go deep on the first play, has Fowler, jump ball, and it's caught all the way down to around the 20-yard line. What a delivery there by Long to Fowler when he needed it the most. Long to the far side, has a man at the goal line. Touchdown, St. Peter's Prep. Snap, hold, kick is up by Ruiz. The kick is no good, just short. He had the accuracy, just not enough leg, and no time left on the clock. And St. Peter's Prep has rallied from down 17 to come back and win here in Montvale for the first time since 1989.
I mean, down 17 in the fourth bad? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. No, I turned the game on at halftime, and I just threw up my hands, and we're losing again. We're losing again to St. Joe's. Again. Always them. That random regular season game where you don't expect us to lose, and they always lose against St. Joe's, except for this one.
Man, that was epic. That was epic. That's the only way to describe it. Epic.
It was epic. It was
epic.
Something else.
Well, I think our top 5 is pretty much in agreement with a couple of hit misses, but I think my top 5 is better personally. It's slightly better.
Yeah, sure.
We'll go with my top 5.
Sure.
Okay. So now Ben's gonna go away for a little bit because he has to make an announcement, don't you, Ben? Don't you gotta make an announcement?
I do have to make an announcement.
You gotta make an announcement. So let's now hear from the State of the Marauders Club President, Ben Novosyolok, Class 2024, with an announcement to the student body. So Ben, take it away.
Hey everyone, this is Junior Ben Novosyolok, the president of the State of the Marauders Sports Reporters Club. If you're a student at St. Peter's Prep and you want to get involved with sports media or broadcasting, come to one of our club meetings. Dates and times of the meetings will be published on the daily announcements, but if you want more information, you can just email me at novosyolokb24@students.spprep.org. We look forward to seeing you guys.
Well, he's back. He's back. He's alive.
Whoa.
Great announcement. Thank
you. Definitely wasn't me 2 months in the past. 2 months.
It's all good. Well, Ben, thank you again for coming on this week's episode of the podcast. I think we're going to see more of you on the podcast now, right?
Oh yeah. I think there's going to be a lot more of me. I mean, hockey's coming back.
Yes, hockey.
That's what I'm most looking forward to. Hockey's coming back.
Yeah, so hint, hockey preview coming soon, ladies and gents.
Oh, soon, next week, soon.
Maybe, we'll find out.
But
that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for another edition of the State of Marauders podcast. Again, Ben, thank you for joining us this week.
Of course.
I want to thank you all for tuning into this week's episode and continue to spread the word of the State of Marauders podcast by sharing our social media profile at SOTM Marauders to everyone you know, and continue to check them out for all of the latest updates. We hope to see you all next week as we continue to preview what is to come for our Marauders this winter.
Oh, yeah.
And as always, let's go
All right.
Prep.